Hey, Duke, sorry for the delay. I've got a bunch of nervous investors who want reassurances. Have you checked the share price?
I've just been looking at them, unfortunately.
Pretty bleak. Share prices haven't rebounded since we got everyone sick on the chew with our relish.
Yes, even with the announcement that Pickle Lila and Pickle Eddie were both tampered with, it hasn't stopped the downward trend.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid we might not be able to turn this around if we can't figure out who's behind the sabotage.
You're gonna turn yourself in? Are you out of your mind?
We're not really seeing another option.
I do. Lots of them. Ones that don't include ruining both of our lives,
It's
Shawn.
the honorable thing to do, okay? The only thing if I have any chance is salvaging my relationship.
You forget about Alexis? You can't do this. If you turn yourself in, it's a matter of time before Anna connects the whole thing to me.
Just the person I was looking for.
You have more questions?
No, I have questions for Carly.
Why do you want to question me?
Oh, this is probably a matter we should continue down at the station.
The station?
Don't worry. It's very routine.
Oh, okay. Well, anything you have to ask me, you can ask me here then.
I just feel like with a case this serious that any statement you give should be on record.
Should I call my lawyer?
You know, I was convinced that Tracy poisoned our relish, but then the results came back from the lab indicating that both had been tainted.
Which exonerates Tracy, because why would she poison her own product, after all?
And I'd like to know who did it, because it's been more than a month and we haven't heard anything.
Well, Gordon Elliott and the NYPD are both conducting an investigation. They'll come up with no lead.
It doesn't make any sense at all. None of our chief rivals are even in the condiment business. I mean, who would want to tank our company like this?
Well, have you considered Ava Jerome?
You know Ava Jerome?
Well, she was here earlier looking for you. Do you mind if I ask you, how do you know Miss Jerome?
She's Kiki's mother.
Who's Kiki?
Franco's daughter. You see, calling her Lauren was just wishful thinking. Her real name is Lauren Catherine Jerome. Kiki for short.
That's why I've had such a hard time locating her.
Tell me more about your meeting with Ava. Why are you convinced that she wants to go after ELQ?
It's not so much what she said. It's more about who she is.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah, Diane Miller. I'm sure she'd be interested in whatever you want to talk to me about.
Yeah, by all means, just give her a call. But I don't see why you'd need her input.
Even as you're dragging me off to the station?
I'm not pulling out the handcuffs. You know, this is really just follow-up questions to you because you're the owner of the Metro Court. It's things like, you know, staff schedule and who was on security the night of the shooting. You've been so cooperative so far. There's no reason to bring a lawyer into all this, is there?
Guess not.
Right. Shall we? I'll give you a ride. Mr. Butler.
Commissioner?
You were very open about your criminal past when you came here. I just wasn't aware that the family you were involved with was named Jerome.
I had every reason to believe that the Jeromes were no more.
Let me ask you something. During your time with them, do you remember ever meeting a family member named Ava?
Oh, I only knew Victor's two children, Olivia and Julian. But there's no reason why Ava could not be related.
Just as likely they're not related, though. I mean, Jerome is a fairly common last name.
That's funny. That's exactly what she said when I brought it up. But I did get this very odd feeling from her.
What kind of feeling?
It was just something about her demeanor. It was like as if she was hiding something. She was playing cat and mouse with me. And I got the feeling she was enjoying every minute of the chase.
Take a seat, Carly. I'll be in shortly.
She agreed to come in here?
Yeah, I told her it's routine follow-up questions. So, is it true? Your mom regained consciousness?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, the doctors are optimistic.
That's wonderful. Will you tell me about this rifle that was recovered?
Sniper rifle found on landfill.
Yeah.
It's got to be the gun used to shoot my mother. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that Carly and Sonny are behind this whole thing. My mother, she just got in between them and their vendetta against Franco.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll find out more when I question
Good.
her.
I want to go in there with you.
Yeah, I can understand why you would want that, but we've got to be careful with her, or she's going to lawyer up.
Yeah, I know the stakes.
If you lose your temper, we won't get anything out of Carly. Her lawyer is Diane Miller. She won't take kindly to you bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, I need to be a part of this.
I will allow it But we have to be smart about this. It's the only way we're going to get Carly to crack.
I had Ava checked out when she first came to the house to see Tracy. Nothing jumped out as a red flag. Now, I can speak with the investigators, have them vet her further if you think that she's that suspicious.
No, I'm sure it's nothing. I mean, you know what it's like when you first meet somebody and you form an instant first impression.
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions can turn out to be a lot of trouble.
Are you thinking of something in particular?
Total coincidence, Michael's brother Morgan was already dating Kiki. The two of them have been staying with Michael ever since they hit town.
So Michael was sharing a flat with this girl, and he didn't realize it was his cousin?
Well, I definitely don't think that if Michael knew that his cousin was Kiki Jerome, he would have kissed her.
So when the security footage from the Metro Court was reviewed, it was discovered that some of the surveillance cameras had been disabled. Specifically the one on a side street, the Grand Street entrance. Now, who has access to those controls?
The head of my security team and the people who work directly under him.
And what about hotel management? Do they?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And hotel owners?
Yes, of course.
Oh.
You don't think Connie had anything to do with this, do you?
No, we don't think Connie had anything to do with this. But we do think you played a big part in this, Carly.
So Michael kissed his brother's girlfriend, who then turned out to be his cousin.
Yeah. Talk about an unexpected complication. I told Michael to stay away from Kiki.
That's probably a good course of action.
Except it throws a monkey wrench in our plans with the LQ.
How so?
She and Michael are about the same age. I was hoping that he could persuade her to vote with me and, in turn, persuade Franco.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure we'll come up with a better course of action.
I sure hope so. Because as much as it would work for me to have Michael get close to this girl, I think it could be a recipe for disaster.
Your head of security says he's never shut off any cameras before. Connie has an alibi. That leaves you. Did you really think we were going to figure this out? How are you going to look at my mother in the eye now that she's awake?
Olivia's awake.
Wow, that's some relief for you. How do you like that? Are you pretty happy you don't have blood on your hands right now, Carly?
We've got to be smart about this.
You know what? You know what? This doesn't work with her. The good cop routine, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So just so you know, we found the gun that was used to shoot my mother. Ballistics has it right now. They're going to take a look at it. How long before you think we can trace that back to one of Sonny's guys?
It wasn't Sonny.
Well, who was it?
You know what? We're gonna have to finish strategizing about Kiki and Franco later because I have dinner with Elizabeth.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. How are things progressing on that front?
You know, it's actually the only area of my life that isn't a mess. I'll be honest with you, Duke, there was a little hiccup that threatened to ruin everything, but I've worked that out. Now, nothing can stand in the way of our happiness.
Carly, you just said Sonny isn't responsible for my mother's shooting. Can you tell us who is?
I think I'd like to call my lawyer now.
Of course. Yeah. Detective?
Commissioner.
Was it Jerome? Is Olivia okay?
Yeah, well, that's what Sonny said. What's going on here?
I decided to call a lawyer.
Look, that won't be necessary. Look, there's something I have to tell you.
What did you have to tell me, Shawn?
Dante, I need you to see
What?
something.
Is this what I think it is?
The strike marks from the rifle we found don't match the bullet fragments that were recovered from your mother. Yeah.
Which means the bullet that hit my mother didn't come from that gun.